Welcome back to Nick Lenz, Comic Corner Classic, Last Known Classics. This is episode number 2187, Doubleshot number 2081. I got two Batman trades. First is a mini-series, the other is just some classic issues of Batman. First that we have is Batman 1 Dark Knight, written and drawn by one of the best Batman artists of the last decade, Jock. Which I've heard his real name is like John, I think it is. I heard this from Scott Snyder on a podcast. It was a Fat Man Batman podcast. Yeah. Now, him doing this miniseries was a good idea. Definitely. Because, well, his artwork is really good. I mean, that's the highlight of this miniseries, is his artwork. Yeah, it still looks as good. Now, my first encounter with Jock's artwork was actually on Black Mirror. Yep. And of course also he did work on Witches with Scott Snyder. Most of the for this miniseries, it's basically focused a lot on this one police officer. Batman of course is there. He's also with a blackout in the city. That's why the whole black stuff is here. And Alfred is also trying to restore power to Wayne Manor. About this whole miniseries. And during the course of this book, he runs into Killer Croc and gets into a fight with him. Yes, fights Killer Croc. And then we have basically also this sort of this psychic. And we have this weird moment here. We have this female police officer who doesn't like some of the stuff that Gordon does. So she's like, telling this one guy, give me your gun. And he just shoots a cowardly officer right in front of everybody else. I'm like, yeah, this is sign of a criminal will do this, not a police officer. And she, of course, basically thinks good of this. And so Batman has her on basically the same voice chat with Commissioner Gordon. It's like, because basically she did this because this guy's parent murdered her family in a blast. And this is her revenge. And because of the fact she was a person matter, well, it's presumed she rests off screen. And of course, power is restored the whole city before the miniseries wraps up. Except for the era Batman is near Blackgate of all places. Yes, Blackgate. And she also calls basically Arkham Asylum very run down. She's almost like, the way it's implied, the way she speaks, it's almost like she implies Arkham Asylum was abandoned. Despite the fact it's never actually been abandoned in any comic book continuity. Most of basically it's very active. The only time it's been abandoned was probably during Arkham City. But that's because I couldn't exactly use the place. I could cover Poison Ivy's vines. But this book, really good. Give this book a 9.5 out of 10. I mean, despite my complaint of all the too many Batman books, this is one of the good ones. Alright, next up we have is Tales of the Batman by Gerry Conway, Volume 1. These are basically these are a series of trades. This is actually about the first of the three trades that collect issues from mostly when Gerry Conway was writing Batman comics. Yep. And this book collects from the period of time of December 1975 to October 1976, January 1978 to December 1978, January 1980. It goes all the way to July 1981. Now, this is what's collected here. We have the comics 463, 464, 497, 499, 501, 504, Brand Bull 158, 161, 170, 174, Batman 295, 305, 306, Batman Family 17, Man Bat number 1, World's Finest 250, 269. Wow. First up is Man Bat. This was a one-shot that Gerry Conway did. Now, Man Bat was just a character who actually just showed up in DC Comics at this point, like, not long before this. Now, this actually is just the first of a two-issue series. For some reason, Conway didn't do the second issue. No, for some reason, he did not. It is interesting, though, the fact Conway was also the editor of this book. Yeah, he was also the editor, which is strange. And this is actually the very first comic he ever, well, first Batman comic he did for DC. Yeah. By the way, Man Bat is basically colored gray here, so I think normally he's brown. We also have his wife becoming like She-Bat in this book. This guy called Baron Time. He's only existed in this one issue. I don't think he appears after this. Okay, so apparently he did. So he turned issues of Detective Comics. In stories related to Etrigan Demon. Yep. Yep. Then we have a two-parter from 460 to 464 where it has Batman taking on Black Spider, this killer vigilante who kills drug dealers. And here's something quite strange, that the logo changes. Well, they have this thing on top here, and then by the very next issue, it disappears. But there's still a feature here for the Atom. Yeah, that's a feature for the Atom. That backup feature had a debut of recurring Birds of Prey villain, the Calculator. Yep. There's also a man named Reeves that's like Batman very much because he's a vigilante. So then we move on to basically the whole Black Spider thing. Like, they think he died, but, well, yeah, he appears for this two-part story here. They even do have basically him return for another story. Yeah, and by the way, this guy here, doesn't even know character, Arthur Reeves. Yeah, he was a frequent recurring character. I mean, his last appearance was in 353. Yeah, he returned out this sporadically over the years. Then we had this sort of ritual issue with 295 for Batman. Yep. And as for the Batman family issue, it's basically Batman being the Huntress for the first time. Yep. Where she finds out, oh yeah, Batman, Bruce Wayne of Earth too, because he doesn't have a daughter. So yeah. And apparently, yeah, this is the period of time when he was still alive before he died. Yeah, that caught news. Batman died in New Adventure Comics. Next killed by a minor criminal. Yes. I think, yeah. And then pretty much like 250 is like the world's finest team. This is their debut. Yeah, it's basically a big issue here. Issue 250 of World's Finest. World's Finest will last for another about 73 issues before it got canceled. Yep. Yeah, this is a big giant issue of the World's Finest team comprised of Batman, Superman, Green Arrow, and Black Canary, along with Wonder Woman. And this team was, for some reason, the precursor to the Justice League. I don't know why. It's just a fun, action-packed issue. Which I found the issue really fun. And move over to Batman 305. But a lot of these covers here are done by Eddie Cohen and Jim Pero and Michael Kuta. Yeah, but at one point Jim Pero was like almost all the covers. A lot of these are simply like one-shot stories, him just doing like various different criminals across these issues. And then we come across the first of handful of we have one of these team issues, or Batman teams up with Adam Strange. Yep. Let's see. Yeah, in 158 he teams up with Wonder Woman. In 161 he teams up with Adam Strange when he's framed for murder. And of course this whole thing is trying to tree him. And of course it's the comic issue where it's a full-page story where he's trying to clear up Batgirl's name being murderer. Won a couple times actually. Yep. That's from 497. 498. It's him taking on Blockbuster. Not the one from the Nightwing run. No, this is the original Blockbuster. The one that got killed off in the 80s. Yep. Then we go on to some Brave and Bold issues. First of 4 in a row. First, he teams up with a Scalp Hunter to go do some time traveling, which I think was one of the last known times he basically did any time traveling. Yeah, Carter Nicholas, he actually would. I think like his last official appearance was just an issue of World's Finest. But yeah, the whole thing of this guy, he sends Bruce Wayne on basically time travel stories. Here's going back to Civil War, and then we have Once Every Teen teams up with Firestorm to save him from dying. Really fun issue. I love the artwork here. And then we have a two-parter where he teams up with the Green Lantern, the Guardians of the Universe, and then the Green Lantern. Oh, Hal Jordan, actually. Then we have a suspected murderer in Batman 501. And this is all connected to Alfred. Yep. Then we have the other World's Finest issue in this book. We have World's Finest 269. All about Batman being buried alive and, of course, being freed and helped by well. And then we have 503, which is a story featuring the Scarecrow. Yep. I think that's the last issue in the book. Yep. These issues in here are really good. Nothing more bad here. This book roughly a 9.5 out of 10. Oddly enough, he does for the Joker once in these issues, but not much to say. Just Gerry Conway's good writing Batman comics. Okay, so yeah, that's a particular view. Next up is going to be more One Piece and another comic corner, which will be digital one. Okay, next video. Bye.